You're listening to Eastwave FM. Yes, my lovelies, it is the Chat Network, and we've got your favorite host, not host, sorry, coach, and host. Yeah, last week you didn't get your dose. I'm so sorry. I know I got all of the hate mail, and people were just missing you. Welcome, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing, Coach Zaid?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Yeah, I missed being here last week, and but it was a desperately needed break, I think.
Yeah.
Before the big break.
You know, the big break, I'm telling you, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I know our listeners are going to miss you on the airwaves every Wednesday, but you're going to return to us next year, in January, right?
It will feel like next week.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm so mind boggled. I can't. I'm now saying it's 2024. Like, I'm looking at myself going, did you hear what you just said? Like, it is 2025 and we're going on to 2026. So, what are we talking about today?
Oh, I was hoping to go out with a light note, but I think today's topic is an important one, very important one. It's about whether we're raising our children to be prime candidates for grooming online. And the whole grooming scene is quite an interesting and very disturbing one. So, yeah, I think it's an important one to unpack, but let's see if we can try and keep it not too heavy and dark, because it's a very dark space, eh?
What is grooming?
Grooming is, I believe, when you subtly encourage someone towards being more compliant with a very manipulated outcome, almost, so that you can take advantage of them. You can get benefit from them without them realizing it. That might be detrimental to them. So, from that perspective, I think it's something that is not just specific to the whole kind of sexual trafficking or human trafficking space. It's just generally being trying to manipulate someone into a position that is going to be to their disadvantage or to their harm.
And to the person who is doing the grooming, obviously to their advantage and benefit, right? So how do they go about? How does the grooming start?
I think it's good old-fashioned manipulation. They try and sense what are your insecurities, what are your needs, what are your desires, what are you desperate for, what are your vulnerabilities, and they play on that. And the more you wear your heart on your sleeve, the more you give people something to work with when it comes to grooming. So when you go online and you like bleeding heart and you confirming everything that is so bad and so tough about life and everything else, someone who's looking to groom you or take advantage of you, they're going to play to that, and they're going to make you feel as if they're your knight in shining armor or your saving grace, and that's how they groom you.
And like, I suppose online people are able to portray. They can build the persona. They can have the perfect image portrayed, because in real life, it's a bit harder to, like, by the time they meet you, they've already solidified that, no, this is who I am and who I can be to you.
Yes. And, it's so easy to pretend you're someone you're not when you're online. And people automatically assume that you're just like pretending from a kind of personality perspective. No, the last case I came across now recently, someone I know personally, confirmed that the person who tried to groom someone they know was actually an elderly man who presented himself as a teenager.
Wow, online?
Online.
So he presented himself as a teenager.
Yes.
In order to groom someone younger than him?
Oh, yes, another teenager.
Another teenager?
Yes.
In order to achieve what?
To lure her into a sexual trafficking ring.
Wow, this is so scary.
It is, right? And from the perspective of whether this comes from a good home or a bad home or a dysfunctional home, no, a good home. And that's the thing. Just because you have a good home doesn't mean that your children are not susceptible or vulnerable to this.
No, of course. It's we talk about people's vulnerability. That's not exclusive to good homes and bad homes. Everybody has a vulnerability. Everybody's dealing with something. You just have to give them an in. It's all about building trust in order to have access.
Exactly. And like before, if you made yourself available to someone that was looking to take advantage of you, the impact and the consequences were kind of limited, right? But now they can lure you completely out of your space, out of your comfort zone, out of your country. They can have access to all of your online digital information, your banking information, everything else, because that's how much trust they can build with you.
But of course, I mean, look at unemployment right now,
Mhm.
and that's the biggest vulnerability that's being exploited. South Africans are stranded in Ukraine. South Africans have gone to Myanmar,
Yes.
and these have been recruited by South Africans.
Mhm.
There are South Africans involved in the actual, convincing or grooming of the people to say there are opportunities available, and not come to find when you're on the other side. That is not the case. It's not what you thought you were going
Yes.
into.
And I think the whole grooming space is quite a contentious space, right? Because relative to your awareness, your maturity, we can say you're being groomed. Otherwise, you're just being vulnerable or gullible. So if you're going to trust yourself to anyone who comes along and pretends to be sincerely interested and concerned about your well-being and how you're feeling and whether you're having a good day or not and whether life is tough for you or not, then you're setting yourself up for a lot of pain. A lot of pain, more than just heartbreak.
You know what's scary about this is that children have 3, 4, and 5 social media accounts. You're not always aware that
Yes.
the account you are a friend on, or you are there monitoring, is the only account that they have.
And it's normalized now for them to pretend to be older than they are when they sign up for those accounts, because there's no solid verification about age and all of that, right? And
Yeah.
Australia just passed, I think it came into effect today, they just
Yes.
passed a law that says that anything under 16 is illegal for them to have access to social media.
I love that. I think we should follow suit. What do you think?
I think so, but we also need to have equally robust systems to make sure that we don't create a black market for this now, because now the whole black market for digital identities and that is going to thrive.
The dark web.
The dark web. And parents who are liberal, and I'm saying this, I don't care whether it's offensive or not, but parents who are liberal with giving their children access to credit cards and banking accounts and things where they can spend at will without sufficient oversight or controls, you're just setting yourself up for pain. You're setting them up for pain as well.
I am thoroughly disturbed because I think that children, number one, cannot sit behind a screen and judge for themselves whether the profile picture they are seeing is actually a person. That is identity theft, by the way. When somebody takes it's easy to save another
completely.
person's picture, create a profile, and start chatting. How's your day? How's school? Oh,
Look at all the Fatima Khans on Facebook.
oh, and the Sohails. I cannot wrap my head around how many Sohails there are. I'm telling you, Sohail. I'm like, my goodness, where do you all come from? You know?
And that's how easy it is, right? But you know what's more disturbing for me is that our children or this generation has gotten to a point where they have so much trust and faith into something that has got such blatant flaws and vulnerabilities about it.
How do we just trust it? How is it? You know what? I nearly got scammed a year ago. A friend of mine posted, I made 50,000 Rand in. Well, I invested 3,000 Rand and I got my payout now, but it's somebody I know and I interacted with. So I popped her a message and said, Salams, how are you? And the return was, Wassalams, Alhamdulillah, and you. Then I'm like, I just wanted to know more about this opportunity. And she goes, yes, this is all you need to do. Deposit this amount in this account, and that's what I did. And inshallah, like the lingo was down to the exact way we talk, colloquialism, the local language.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, I try and do this account, like try to do the payment, and my bank blocks it and says this is a suspicious transaction. And I'm like, how? How is this suspicious? So I'm fighting with my bank now.
Right.
And the next morning I phone her and I say to her, Salams, I'm trying to do this payment. And she's like, what payment? My Facebook account was hacked. Please do not do anything and rather phone me, because if you didn't phone me, you would have lost that 3,500 Rand. And these people were like, how did I trust? That was my question. Like, oh, you are so silly. Like, how could you just trust that this is happening? Like, how?
You know, that's that age-old wisdom that says that if it's If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
That's like a golden rule online.
Yeah.
If you're getting this unbelievable offer, this unbelievable opportunity,
Yes.
chances are it is unbelievable because it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's not real,
Yeah.
right? And so getting back to why it is that we trust so easily, that for me is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Why are we raising children who are so gullible that they believe the digital world is real?
Yes. And then everyone there has the best intentions for you.
Parents are going to hate me after this.
Go for it.
The reason why they place so much credibility in the online world is because parents are so sensitive to their needs to be online connected, right? And what I mean is that if my child comes to me and tells me about this disturbing kind of emotionally overwhelming kind of experience that they had with someone online, and I lean into that and try to pacify them and try to reassure them and comfort them and everything else about it, I'm placing merit and validation on the reality of their experience. I'm not telling them that, listen, do you even know this person? Is it someone you know personally or not? Have you ever met them? What's so real about this thing? Why is it that you're feeling this way, so strongly affected by something or someone that you've never even met in real life, that you don't even know is real in real life? We don't give them that point of reference to say, hey, digital is not real.
Yeah.
No matter how much we want to place merit on it, AI has completely destroyed any trust that we can place in the digital realm.
100%.
Right? Because there's now deep fakes that they've got,
Yeah.
which literally looks like you, talks like you, sounds like you, has the same voice imprint as you, and it seems as if it's you saying all of those things. So much so that now anyone who's got an online presence needs to have a safe word with their families, so that if someone pretends to be them through a video call of some sort,
Yeah.
they must be able to ask what the safe word is so that they can see whether that is actually digital, is it fake AI or is it something that's genuine.
And they can be exploited. Like
Completely.
your personal information, your banking details. Send me money right now, I'm in trouble. Please
Yes.
do a cash send kind of thing. And that's just it. Is that, I'm also thinking
Or
about.
worse than that, meet me at this place because I need your help.
Oh my goodness, that didn't even cross my mind. That is.
You see,
crazy.
it's scary, and then our children are being allowed to just operate so independently because we want them to learn, we want them to grow, and we want them to mature, and this is how it is that they're going to become familiar with this new world that we didn't have and all of that. No, there's still common sense that has to prevail, and common sense has been kicked out of the door while we're trusting them to navigate online in a space that we don't even understand ourselves.
Absolutely. That's the thing. We don't understand ourselves. We don't know the true length and breadth of the dangers that are out there, the pedophiles, the kind of profiles that they create. I mean, there are whole call centers dedicated to grooming.
Yes.
They've got targets. They've got real targets to reach. They've got meetings that take place. I mean, I remember watching an expose once. I don't know which talk show it was, about a real house where there were people sitting on the phone and they were actually fishing from Tinder. They each had their target that they were grooming towards swindling them out of their life savings.
Wow.
And what they were actually doing was building rapport all the time. How was your day? What did you do? They were required to be consistently on the phone with these people.
Right.
And it was like your lonely singles, your retired people.
And what's the minimum criteria to be able to earn that kind of trust these days? If I remember something that's important to you that you mentioned to me in passing online, and the people around you don't remember it, suddenly you're my person.
Absolutely.
And then suddenly you get me and you care and you understand and you know how difficult it is and we resonate and yeah, maybe you're my soulmate.
Yeah, it's so easy nowadays, eh?
So easy.
I mean, you just need to remember a few details, what you like to eat, what you did yesterday.
Yes.
And we build from there.
How did that interview go? How was that tough presentation you had?
I'm telling you, Zaid, I watched this expose. They were making notes. They were referring to the notes. And they were making new notes. And it was like, this is grooming.
It's sad. It's sad, but it's also just so concerning. I mean, it's sad that we have so many people that are so lonely and so isolated from the social structures around them that they need that kind of online life to feel validated or feel just as if there's someone there.
Yes.
That's what's sad.
Yes.
But the fact that we willingly surrender ourselves to that online space is what is concerning. And I'm not just talking about adults, I'm talking about children as well. So when children become so distraught, I saw a video clip the other day of what they call Chinese police who are dragging a teenager to a social media rehabilitation kind of detox center. And this little child, this teenager, probably early teens, was so overwhelmed and so distraught. She was beside herself, and they were literally carrying her out on all fours to get her into this rehab space, right? That's how much we've lost them to this digital world because
Yeah.
and we say we don't understand, and I'm talking to all the old school parents now who think, yeah, but we don't understand it, this is real for them, and we must be sensitive, life has changed and the world has changed and they're not growing up. Shush, please. Common sense is still common sense. Reality is still reality. And if you're going to allow your child to dictate what should be common sense because you don't understand the world they're in, you're failing as a parent, you're failing your children as parents.
It's so scary that you're saying that. Parents are actually saying, no, this is their world, we need to inhabit their world. At what point do you as a parent not put your foot down, but show them what common sense is? That listen, that is not reality.
Yes.
You've got to inhabit reality. Here's reality. This is where we function in this space.
Exactly. So the balance you've got to strike is, what are the opportunities for generating revenue, creating income, having a career and that sort of thing online in the digital space? That's real. Because there are now online opportunities that are very real and very lucrative. What's not real is online relationships.
We are seeing and hearing so much. There was this Netflix documentary called The Tinder Swindler, right? I am telling you, one of the females of there, Cecile, she actually started her own series where she was now helping women catch out the scammers who were actually grooming them.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I just watched it. I was glued. But the way that they are being groomed, I mean, you're looking at professionals. You're looking at recently an FBI agent who investigates this got scammed. She came out and she was like, can you believe this happened to me? They phoned me and said my child was in danger.
Yes.
And I needed to deposit such and such in order to make sure the hospital fees were covered. Meanwhile, the child was at school and fine. She said they accessed her through her panic.
Right. And that's good old social engineering, right? They play on your fears, they play on your interests, on what it is that you are so desperate to get the next good deal and all of that.
Yes.
And that's how you step on a slippery slope. And once you're on that slippery slope, to get off it is extremely difficult. And the only way you're going to prevent yourself from stepping on it in the first place is being real about what's real in life, rather than looking at this whole digital world and thinking, oh my God, I'm so sophisticated. Look at me, I can do all of these online things, and I've got all of these online dating apps and all of these online social networks and everything else, and you are so boring, you're still so old-fashioned. No. You are setting yourself up for a lot of pain, a hell of a lot of pain.
I'm just I don't know. In my mind, there's so many things running. Like I said to you, that call center where they were catfishing people as well. They're like, okay, if this person says to get the information, do they have, they had people who were working in the banks who were telling them, so-and-so is retiring. This person has got this due to them. It's going to pay out. And everyone would take a cut. But the fact that they dedicated themselves to grooming this person, getting their trust, gaining access, and it was a worldwide thing. Women would actually fly to the US to meet this guy, be willing to uproot and leave their families behind, and only to come there, hand over their savings, and be stranded there and have to call their family and say, he's nowhere to be found, or she's gone, and I've given them everything. So how do we protect ourselves against? How do we realize that we are being groomed? What are the signs?
If someone is playing to your insecurities all the time, reassuring you, validating you, sounding too good to be true, being that perfect mate, that perfect companion, that perfect sounding board, that perfect advisor, someone who never gets upset with you, someone who's always trying to make sure you're never upset with them, all of that. It's just when they try too hard. But more than that, if you've got online relationships that have more substance than your real life relationships, you are the problem.
Yeah.
And I mean this. I'm not victim blaming and all of that. I'm saying you are the problem.
Please say that again. If you have online.
If you have online relationships that have more substance and more meaning and more value to you than your real life relationships, you are the problem. And I'm saying you are the problem because you're avoiding the uncomfortable situations and the difficult discussions and wanting and needing to back down to create understanding and compromise. You're avoiding all of that because it's easier to get someone to agree with you online.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for validation in your life, if your whole life is driven around validation, you are a prime candidate for grooming.
Wow.
So back to the topic. How are we raising our children to be prime candidates for grooming online? You raise them with a low self-esteem, where their self-esteem is driven by how it is that they feel about everything, rather than what's real about things, and what's their contribution to it, and how are they accountable for their contribution to it. Kids lose themselves into the consoles these days, and we think the online gaming space is so safe. No. There was an interview I saw not too long ago about how they went to a lot of senior tech specialists in the social media space. And they asked them straight off, what games would you not allow your children to play? And popular games like Fortnite, Roblox, and things like that, completely no. Why? Because the social element to that is prime space for people to groom their children. That's where they present themselves as 14-year-olds and things like that, so that they can connect with other 14-year-olds playing on that platform, and then through playing with each other and developing that rapport and forming teams and forming groups and all of that, that's how they lure them.
You know, you're talking about this. I had an 11-year-old who said to me, I said, "What's your plans for the holidays?" And she says, "I'm going to Gold Reef City in a week. I am excited because I'm meeting somebody who I play games with." And I said, what games do you play with this person? And she says, "Roblox." But the thing is that I'm going to go with my friends, and then I'm going to tell this person that I'm going to be there because I'd really like to meet him. And you sitting there thinking, how, my word, like, thankfully the parents are strict, and they were like, she's not going to Gold Reef City because she's 11. There will be no unsupervised Gold Reef City trips.
Fair enough, but that's the Gold Reef City trip they know about.
Yes.
How does an 11-year-old get to develop that kind of a relationship with someone online to the point where they want to arrange an in-person meeting?
Absolutely. And you'll be sitting there and hearing, and you're thinking, this child, I'm like, who's she talking to? Because I can hear the shouting and the screaming and whatever. And they're like, no, she's just on her games. That's the desensitization that parents have now. Like, no, leave her. She's on her games.
It's just a game.
It's just a game.
No, it's not.
No. And if she is making plans to meet this person now at Gold Reef City, and also there's the deceptive element of, I'm going to go with my friends, but I'm going to tell this person I'm going to be there, and then we can meet. I just want to see who it is that I am actually playing Roblox with, because it's so fun online.
I don't know. Where do we even start? I mean, parents who want to be friends, you're failing as a parent. You can't be a parent and a friend. You're not supposed to be their friend. You're supposed to be their guardian, their overseer, the one that protects them from harm, the one that protects them from grooming, the one that protects them from stupid decisions. And that's not a popular role at all, so you can't be their friend. But you must be a safe space, an emotionally available space for them to be able to open up to you.
And what is wrong with being disliked or unpopular as a parent?
And that's the thing, right? If you don't want to be unpopular, you're going to look for validation. And if you're looking for validation, you're going to fall for people who are going to scam you because they're going to validate you into getting you to pay them money and to do things for them and do favors and share content that is going to be compromising and all sorts of things.
Do you remember, I don't know if you also had this frame in your house. My parents had a frame in the house, and it said, "As long as you live under my roof, you live under my rules. One day when you have your own house, you can have your own rules." I now have my own house, and I still operate by my mother's rules.
The reason we didn't have that frame was because it wasn't even an option.
We How did my mother get into the kitchen? She's like, you guys occupy the kitchen more than you do your own rooms.
Yeah.
So here it is. Okay, I'm not your friend, I am your parent.
Yes.
I love you, and therefore I am not looking to be your friend.
Children need to figure out how life works from us. If we don't understand the world that they're living in, then we're not going to be able to help them to figure out how life works.
We are also the problem,
Yes.
right? Literally, when a child is crying and the aunt goes, oh, come see this video. Come here, let's look at TikTok, stop crying. What are we actually saying to the child?
Pacifying is not a good way to raise children. We're pacifying them into being compliant so that they're less difficult to deal with, and so that we can feel more accomplished as parents, and we think the support structure is working for us. And like I said, with that example I gave at the beginning, it's not from bad families or dysfunctional families that you get this happening, right? In fact, I know of good families where one of the partners was actually lured into a very compromising position where there was material collected about them, and they were blackmailed by other family members.
Wow, that is sick.
But that's what happens. It's a reality. It's not something that is far-fetched and that is outside of our community, and it's a Western thing, and it's a secular thing, and it's a European thing, and all. No, it's in our community.
Yeah. I actually had a 19-year-old whose brother's friends, who used to come to the house all the time, one of them actually developed, I can't say developed feelings for her, but he took advantage of her because he groomed her. He groomed her and then he used her, and she had nothing. She couldn't tell her mom, she couldn't tell her brother, she couldn't tell her dad. She couldn't, because already the relationship was a no.
Right.
And when he was staying over and he was having a time with his best friend was actually eyeing his sister, taking advantage of her when they looked away. Took her to the shop, because he's trusted, he's like a brother to us and a brother to her.
Yes.
And she ended up coming to me saying he was sexually violent towards her, and she couldn't even reach out for help. She couldn't say anything because it was not a relationship that was not even supposed to happen in the first place.
It's scary. I don't know. You hear about these kinds of stories, and it's not. I want to emphasize, it's not isolated incidents.
Yeah.
It happens more than we want to admit, because the reason why we don't hear about it as much as we should is because, for good reason, there's a need to protect the identity of the child, because it's going to follow them for the rest of their life. There's a reason to protect the honor of the family for whatever, whether there's virtue behind it or it's just because of pride and social standing. But there's all sorts of reasons why it is that these things are kept hush or try to be resolved in the most amicable way possible. The problem is that if you're not being decisive in the way you go about resolving or addressing these things, it becomes normalized.
Yes.
And when it becomes normalized, then you make it very difficult to have difficult discussions about it, because it's like, but why? You gave me reason to believe it was okay.
And who are we protecting, Zed? In this, the silence only protects the abuser.
It does, but that's where it gets really difficult, right? Is that when the abuser is someone that's young, who doesn't quite understand yet how life works, to them it's just, I'm getting lucky. To them, they're feeling like, hey, this is a notch on my belt, or I don't know what the equivalent would be for women, because trust me, this is not gender specific.
Yeah.
This happens from both sides. I know of men who were sexually groomed by women, by elderly women, right?
Yeah.
And they were young when they were groomed in that way, and it disturbs them, and it affects their relationship with their wives till this day. So let's not fool ourselves into believing that only men are sexual predators here. There are many women who want to be those, what do they call them, cougars.
Yes.
And they sexually groom younger men and teenagers and things like that. So it is a sick society, and it is a sick world that we're living in. But the only way we're going to try and break this trajectory that we're on is if we have more meaningful and more substantial relationships between parents and children. So whatever mistakes were made in the past, whatever it is that we might have gotten wrong or whatever it is, it doesn't mean it's the end of the road. It doesn't mean that's the way it's got to be for the rest of your life with your children. You have to be available to have a fresh conversation about these things.
That is it. I wanted to know, why is it that children don't feel, I don't know, they can't go to their parents and say, this is how it happened. Like, this is what happened to me.
Yes.
What is the barrier there?
Usually the parent is going to react very emotionally about how it is, how could you do that, I raised you to be better than this, and all of those sorts of things. And that has its place. We're human, we're not going to deny parents their humanness, but it has to go beyond that. We have to also be able to listen without trying to correct all the time. And we also have to recognize that if they did something that we didn't caution them about in the first place, that was an oversight on our part. And it's not an easy space. I'm not saying parenting in today's contemporary times that we're living in is an easy thing to do. But you can't sit back and say, I don't understand all the social media stuff and I don't understand all this gaming stuff and all of that. It's, this is their world. It's not. You have to be available to understand it. And if you don't understand it, then you are culpable in whatever it is that they become vulnerable to because you're failing as a parent.
And that's the thing. When you say this is their world, that social media things or whatever, it is a world indeed.
Yes.
It is a world indeed. And like with every world, it comes with a lot more disadvantages.
Yes, and it's a dark and murky world. And if the authorities are not going to act with urgency when you raise concerns about it, you've got no one to turn to.
Absolutely.
And in South Africa, we know we've got some good law enforcement people and we've got many who just don't care.
Yeah.
So you don't want to gamble on that. That should be our last resort. We shouldn't ever have to resort to that. But before we even get to that point, you need to know that when your child messes up, there has to be enough substance in your relationship with them where even though they know they're going to get into trouble for messing up, they still know that beyond that, they're going to get the help and they're going to feel secure and they're going to get someone that's going to help them make it right.
I met a psychiatrist once and I asked him, I said, but how do you solve conflicts within your home? Because you're like a problem solver. Your own kids, do you understand them? Like, what's your dynamic like? And he said, I tell my kids, there is nothing we can't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing we cannot talk about and we can't talk through.
Yes.
And it's such a simple statement, but it's so deep that there is nothing that you can't talk about with your parents.
True.
And the environment has to be made safe for them to be able to feel that they can talk.
It's how do we make that safe environment? That's always something that I grapple with and that I see a lot of parents grappling with, right? Because there's very few parents who are woefully reckless and irresponsible. Very few. So the ones who are thinking that we're just trying to be good parents, we're just trying to be parents that our children will be comfortable talking to. But we don't realize that what they're comfortable talking about is not necessarily going to be the things that they should know they need to talk about. So when it comes to we can talk about anything, fair enough. But how do you know what it is that you should be talking about and how do you know where boundaries are? How do you know what is a no-go? Don't even think of going in that direction because you're going to have consequences the moment you take your first step, not after you've made a mistake. How do we establish those boundaries? How do we create this healthy relationship with our children where we immersed in their space and they understand that we understand and we get this whole space, but we have enough credibility so that when we tell them enough is enough, they understand enough is enough.
Does it work for you as a parent?
It has to. And that's what I'm saying, is that I'm not going to deny the humanness of parents who are trying. But you can't sit back and say, I don't understand this. You have to figure it out. You have to understand it. You have to put in the effort to understand it.
It's so vivid because I'm actually picturing certain cases that I've dealt with where parents have come to me desperately. Like, my relative sent me this video, this link of my own daughter on TikTok. Look at what she's wearing. Look at what she's posted. Look at the comments at the bottom.
Yes,
how do I
scary.
get here, Nazia? Then I tell them it's simple. You need to create an account. You need to be on TikTok. You need to. But then it's also the person is going to create other profiles, the child. It's not as if they're just going to allow they're going to say, okay, this is my curated account where my parents are on, and then here's the real me, and all I'll do is block
_XXX account.
That's it, and I'll just block my parents. They won't be able to access this account, and there it is. So, this is what parents are facing right now.
And in that case, is there enough substance in your relationship with your child that they wouldn't want to break your trust?
Yeah.
Right? And here's another thing, right? Let's assume, for whatever reason, because parents are stretched, it's difficult. And there's a lot of single parents these days as well who are even more stretched. And that's a large proportion of society these days as well, single parenting, right? So when it comes to that, this might sound like ridiculous, but just work with me. If me as a parent, I don't understand the space, the complexity, the sensitivities, the social kind of norms that are playing out in a certain space, I'm not going to allow my child to even entertain that space until I understand what's involved. They shouldn't be involved, because if I need to be the backstop, if I need to be the one that's going to protect them from the harms of that space, I can't allow them to come and teach me about that space. I need to understand that space.
Totally.
So if I don't understand that space, then they shouldn't have access to that space. It's like me saying, yeah, nightclubs, not such a bad thing, but my 14-year-old, they can go and they can see how it is, because they have to experience life.
Yeah.
Seriously? At which point do you say, oh my God, I shouldn't have?
And you're talking in that story of Durban also that comes up. There's that 13-year-old girl who went missing. She actually ran away with a 25-year-old tenant who occupied the same house. And they found her yesterday. She's actually expecting. She was going to the clinic to confirm her pregnancy. 13 years old.
I shudder at the thought of that. It's one story that keeps coming in my mind throughout our discussion now. It's not related to grooming, but this is to show you how it is that parents are prioritizing the wrong things. And I'll probably get some flack for this, but be that as it may. There's a case of a young girl, a young schoolgirl in Pakistan, I think it is. Grade 4 student who for an entire year complained to her parents that she was being bullied. Parents complained to the school, they didn't do anything about it. Until eventually this grade 4 girl walked herself up to the 4th floor and jumped.
Oh my gosh.
They rushed her to hospital and she didn't make it. Now that sounds tragic enough on its own. And then everyone points out to, well, why didn't the school do something about it? No. Why did the parents continue to send her to that school for an entire year knowing that the school was not doing something about it?
True.
Because we prioritize education over our children's mental health, our children's emotional development. And we saw this during COVID, and I was flabbergasted at how much emphasis we placed on needing to complete the school year during COVID, when it was the most distressing time for everyone, including adults. That's how much we prioritize academics and life goals and all that nonsense over being human, over seeing the human. So if our children feel invisible, they're going to find visibility in unhealthy spaces online because it's so accessible. If their online relationships are more accessible than their relationship with us, forget it, we're losing them.
That's very important, because I don't think parents actually understand mental health of children. They're like, no, just go to school. Just go to school. I'm going to phone the school.
School is
I'm gonna
important.
come in.
How are you going to get a job if you don't finish school?
Yes.
Seriously?
It's just so surreal. It's settling in that we've also been groomed.
Exactly.
We've been groomed to say, hustle, hustle, hustle. You haven't made it until you achieved 1, 2, and 3. Don't stop. Keep going.
Who you are is not important. Just make sure you get your grades.
There we go. Like parents would legit say, if you don't get in the 90s, don't come home.
How many brown people keep complaining that even if you get A's and you get a 90, your parents will tell you, well, why couldn't you get 95? Why couldn't you get 100?
Yes.
We're always criticizing and pointing out what's wrong, but we're never ever reassuring and building on what's right. And that's the problem in our relationship with our children. We don't build on what is working in those relationships. We keep emphasizing what is not working.
Yeah. If we focus on the deficits, we're telling them everything they are not.
Yes.
Instead of focusing on everything that they are.
It's like I spoke to a single parent the other day about how it is that her one child was talking about how he needed more affection and more time from her, and the other child was talking about how it is that he felt as if he's tired of her assuming that he's got everything figured out in that. And my response to that was that be grateful, be really glad that they are both still willing to let you know how they feel about how it is that you're showing up for them. That's important. Build on that rather than beating yourself up about the fact that they're not getting what they need from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You build on what works. You don't lose yourself to lamenting and being sad and depressed about what isn't working.
Very important.
And as parents, I promise you that there's far too many parents who are feeling sorry for themselves. Yes, it sucks, it's difficult, it's tough. But self-pity is not going to solve any problems for you.
No. And if you don't parent them, someone else will.
Well, social media is parenting them.
Yeah.
And like they say, there was this one statement I came across, I think it was from Social Network, the movie, if I'm not mistaken, where it says that if you're not paying for it, then you are the product.
Wow.
If you're not paying for it, you are the product. We don't pay for social media. We are the product. The algorithms need our attention so that they can sell us advertising space.
Ever since we had that interview at the very beginning, when I said to you, but social media, is sort of influencing so much, and you said you're not a victim of your social media, my entire perspective flipped.
Mm-hmm.
And now I look at it so differently, because when those videos pop up, I'm like, no, this is not, I was talking about this,
Yes.
but not necessarily that now you programming me to think that I need to feel this way in order to watch more videos to encourage me more so that I stay on your platform,
Yes.
The perspective completely flipped. So it's we are constantly being groomed.
Yes.
Because we are the product.
I had an interesting experience with my daughter this past couple of days. She was playing from her playlist in the car radio, right? And when she reached the end of her playlist, there were other songs that automatically came on, right? And she said, I don't know why it's playing these songs, because I've never ever played these songs before. And I said, yes, because it doesn't care whether you played the songs before or not. It's that someone else who played the song that you have on your playlist, if they played that song before, it's going to automatically assume that you would also be interested in the same song.
Yeah.
And that as a principle applies across the board for algorithms. If I watch a certain reel as a once-off, and I watched it through to the end, the algorithm thinks, hey, you're interested.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying the algorithm thinks as if it's intelligent. It's not. All it does is it says, okay, if
Past a certain
you
time.
are interested in this after more than 15 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever it is, then other people who watch that, they scrolled and they stopped on these reels as well, so let me show you those as well. And that's how it grooms us. We think it's grooming us, but that's how it actually just feeds into the probability of what we're going to like.
Yeah.
Now, if we're not mindful, if we're not conscious about that, we're doom scrolling all the time. We'll get lost in that because it's like, oh, that's cool, oh, that's cool, oh, that's cool. How do they know I like this? It's because you're predictable. You're boring and you're predictable.
Yes, unfortunately.
So the whole point is don't be so boring and predictable.
Yeah.
Come on, do something substantial with your life. Do something substantial with your time. And this is not me hating on people or ridiculing them. Like, seriously, stop being so serious about everything that's wrong in your life that you lose sight of everything that's right in your life.
100%. 100%. Every time you come on air, you literally flip the script. I've said this multiple times. I would picture my thinking going this way. It's going in one direction, and I know which direction this conversation should go, according to me. And then when you come in here and you start talking, it's like you sort of start rearranging. You're like an electrician. You start rewiring things, and you're like, oh my word, I didn't look at it like that. And you're like, dummy, why didn't you look at it like that? So I just want to thank you from Eastwave FM, from all of our listeners. Thank you, Jazakallah khair, for imparting your wisdom to us.
Ameen.
And for helping so many people, because we've had calls, we've had messages. I went to the hair salon and I was not spared. I went to our year-end function and fellow colleagues were like, that interview every Wednesday, we tune in. So you are making tremendous differences in people's lives who probably never occurred to them that, I need to be, I need therapy. I need to talk to someone. Or I'm wrong in this. This is the way I see it. And this is the only way, my way or the highway. And you have definitely taken us on the highway. So we want to thank you for that.
And I just want to push back on one small thing.
Go for
and
it.
It's my bugbear. It's not therapy.
Mm.
Therapy has got such a stigma around it that people are afraid to even mention that they are in therapy.
Mm.
No one needs therapy. And I want to qualify this very quickly because I know we're almost out of time. It's not therapy, it's understanding.
Understanding.
Because we don't understand, we automatically create problems for ourselves. And we don't realize we created those problems because we didn't understand. Every single time we have a conversation here, when I have an aha moment or you have an aha moment, it's because suddenly something makes more sense than it did before.
True.
That's not therapy. That's developing our understanding of how life works. And that's what our children need. They need active engagement so they can develop their understanding of how life works. And here's a parting thought. You know, with the prevalence of divorce rates and broken relationships and so-called broken homes and everything these days, the one thing that comes out consistently, especially with the parents who are like mid-30s to 40s, who have been through a failed marriage and things like that, the one thing I constantly identify with them and they agree with is that the awareness and understanding they have of how life works at that point in their life, that is how we should be raising our children to be before they get into their first relationship. Our life lessons that we're learning through failure is because we weren't imparted wisdom about how life works, because we were just brought up to operate within the system. So the kind of mentality, the kind of maturity, the kind of understanding, the realization of consequences and of the gravity of things that we develop through life's hard knocks, our children are supposed to be raised with that. We mustn't be raising children up until the age of 20 and then suddenly they must be adults. No, you're raising an adult who must still be a child at heart.
This is so important. That is the foundation. That's not the ceiling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the foundation. So if we don't learn from those lessons and impart that wisdom to our children now while they're children in a way that they can connect with and understand why it's important, then they're going to learn our lessons again.
Cycle of rinse and repeat.
Yes.
Wow. I think that you've definitely given us food for thought. And as usual, we are going to go back. It's going to marinate with us. And yeah, I know January is very far, but it's a well-deserved break. And again, Jazakallah so much for coming through. And may you have an awesome, restful holiday. We hope you are taking a break.
I hope so too.
Because we need you back, refreshed, and ready to undo all of our, the things that we are thinking that's not right. I always say I end up being a turtle with a turtle on its back. With it's like, somebody help me.
Turtle syndrome.
Yeah, that's it. You told me no syndromes. Sorry, I'm very careful with my words. Now I don't need therapy. I must be understood. So yeah, I'm on the same wavelength.
It's as simple as that. I
Yeah.
promise you, if you're struggling with something, it's because you don't understand the problem well enough. It's
Yes.
that simple.
Yeah.
Develop your understanding of the problem and the solution becomes obvious.
Absolutely. Coach Zaid, have an awesome one. And again, thank you so much for just being you, man.
Thank you for tolerating me being me in your space.
Thank you so much. Yes, that was Coach Zaid, guys. I know you loved it. Our WhatsApp has gremlins, so we're going to fix it up real quick and get to your messages. But yes, this is the Chat Network. And this has been Coach Zaid. We've just been therapied.